Hey guys, this is Kit from Burn One doing another set review. You guys seem to enjoy it, and we like speedrunning, so here we are. So this time we're ahead of the curve here, and we're releasing this set review before it comes out in English. Anything you need to say about this before we just jump in?
This is gonna be a good set.
Oh yeah, and we only have Nico here today. Dean is
Yeah,
already in
unfortunately,
Japan. Yeah.
Dean's adventuring in the land of Nippon.
All right, so I guess oh, 1 second here. All right, yeah, okay. So I guess we'll just start now. Oh wait, no, it's not working. Oh wait, there we go. Wait, hold on, I gotta see something. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, sorry, the timer wasn't working. We gotta make sure it's official. All right,
Bro, we're already on the clock. Go, dude. What's
go.
going on?
All right, guys. So first card is High Elf Archer, Prideful Forest Dweller. All players may not play events from hand with the same card name as other events played during the same turn. And then climax combo with shot, right?
Yes.
If you have the climax in the zone, you can put the top 3 cards of your library into the waiting room. Return up to X order characters from your waiting room to your hand, or X equal the sum of the number of soul triggers of the cards put into the waiting room this way. So
This card is
like,
okay.
yeah, it's okay.
It's this is not your main climax combo that you're going to use at level 1, but if you plan on building like mono yellow or something, this is pretty solid. Obviously, to get maximum effectiveness out of this, you want to build your deck to have a lot of soul triggers, and this is best played in the 8-shot build.
Yep. Next, we have High Elf Archer, Natural Born Adventurer. It's a on play Musashi effect, plus on play you can pay 2 to bounce one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters to their hand. I mean, it's Musashi, so it's at least okay, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then it has a secondary effect on it that's okay. So, like, is it just okay here, or are we going with good?
I want to push this into good, but I would still like I think this is high okay, low good. If you want to like splash yellow and like the other like the red blue build to play this card, it's totally understandable. But at the same time, the other effect is kind of meta dependent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we can. I'm gonna rate this as good.
All right.
I also just like Elf, so you know.
Yeah, I think it's good also because like the first effect is already good, and the secondary effect of being able to bounce as an option is always like more options towards the game is always better, right? So
Yep.
next card here, High Elf Archer challenging the unknown. This is a free runner, and then also was it when this card attacks, you can choose 2 characters in your waiting room, shuffle it back into your library, and it gains 1 soul. So this card is okay, right?
Yeah, this card is okay. Similar to the other level, to the 1/0 Elf Climax we talked about, you're mainly going to be playing this in mono yellow. In there, it enables really cheeky plays like setting up your level 3, which we'll get to like, shuffle more soul triggers back into your deck. And early on, it's just good if you want to just, push for additional damage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
kind
okay.
of it's kind of surprising to say like, hey, this free runner that has a secondary good effect is probably not going to be in every deck, but you guys see why once we get to red.
Yep.
Yeah, 1500 power is like doesn't really challenge anything, so.
Yeah, you don't even challenge like Akatsuki's or anything, and like in the current meta, you don't challenge even like the Ilya Akatsuki or anything. So
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
tough. Next, we have High Elf Archer visiting a Brave Warrior. Climax combo. When you trigger, check reveals comrades who walk together. Choose 1 Dwarf Shaman, repeating Stone Bullet or Lizard Priest, Heretic Hunter in your waiting room, and return it to your hand. And then as a brainstorm, pay 1 tap to every climax you reveal with shot trigger, you can salvage 1. And this is a mill 6 climax.
Just to kind of correct you on there, so it's pay 1, rest 2, flip 6. If you hit a shot trigger, you can salvage 1.
Oh, so it's not every.
Yeah, you don't salvage for each trigger or each climax you hit.
Yeah, well, you don't miss that often with this, do you?
No, you do not.
Yeah, and then the secondary climax combo, it's on another shot, right? So it's 8-shot build.
It's on the level 3 shot, so it's
Yeah.
on the Dwarf Shaman shot. So whenever you trigger check it, you can either salvage the level 3 Dwarf or the level 3 Lizard.
Yeah, so this kind of like turns your 4 of your shot triggers in your deck into plussing triggers, which is kind of cool. And then you have a climax, or not climax, but a brainstorm that's doesn't whiff very often.
Yep.
So this is like okay, right?
It's okay. The real downside to this is you can't like it doesn't have real catch-up potential. You can't just sack your opponent on like hit 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because even if you hit 2 or 3, you're only getting 1 card back.
Yeah. Next, we have Dwarf Shaman, Generous Wine Drinker. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your ordered characters, and that character gains 1500 power for the turn. And when this card trigger check reveals a climax card, and that card has a shot icon, you may choose one character in your waiting room and return it to your hand.
I think this is bad. The problem is, like, if you're playing mono yellow, which is usually the only deck this is going to be included in, you're still playing it because there's not too many other like spicy options to choose from.
Yeah, the secondary effect is pretty good, and then the 1500 power play is pretty good, but it's like 4K at a level 1. You really only use it for your level 1 climax combo because that was like 6K with climax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that like it's a good power pump. If you're in yellow, you probably play this. So yeah, card's bad. Next, let's see. We have High Elf Archer, Surefire, Single Arrow. Climax combo with Fate entrusted to the bow is placed in your climax zone. If this card is in the front row, all your characters get +1 soul for the turn. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent of this is higher than your level of your opponent, you may put that character in stock and put the bottom card of your stock into the waiting room. So this card's like okay just because it can kill early plays. Like what's the climax? Is it a stock slow or something weird?
It's a win trigger.
Okay, yeah.
So you're never playing the win trigger. So
Yeah.
I consider that first line to be flavor text. And then it all honestly depends on how much you value stock bomb, because you have bottom deck bomb and you also have like assassin options in this particular deck.
Yeah.
So I think in the context of this deck, I would say this card is bad.
Okay, yeah, this is more towards the yellow deck, right? Not meta decks for the most part.
Yeah, but even in the yellow deck, you have the options to splash red and blue. So you have like the assassin option, and then you also have the bottom deck option. So, like I said, it all comes down to how much you value it. I personally rate this as bad, but I can like you can justify this as an okay rating also.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between bad and okay, especially since this set has other stuff going on for it. Next here we have Dwarf Shaman, Repeating Stone Bullets. When this is placed
Dwarf bro.
when this is placed on from hand to stage or via the auto effect of Lizard Priest, Heretic Hunter to the stage, draw up to 2 cards, discard a card from your hand to waiting room. Climax combo. This is with another shot. When it attacks, you can pay 4. If you do, this card gains 3,000 power for the turn, and you put the top 5 cards of your library into your waiting room and perform the following action X times. Deal 1 damage to your opponent, where X equal the number of trigger icons you put in the waiting room from the mill, 5. So, yeah.
Man, if you're playing against Memory Snow or Kimono Friends with mono yellow, you just hate your life.
Yeah. In English, though, this isn't like horrible. We don't have anything running around like that right now, right?
Yeah. So I would rate this, if we're doing this in context of the yellow deck, I would say this is good. In context of everything else, it's okay. It's an acceptable top end, but the problem with this is you have to build around this top end just to be able to have all those soul triggers. But sacking with this feels really, really good.
Yep, I've had it hit me a few times. Next is Lizard Priest, Heretic Hunter. When this places a hand from stage, you may put the top card of your clock into waiting room. Climax combo. This is also with the same shot trigger, right?
It's the same shot trigger. It's how you get it. You can get out the Dwarf Bro for free by playing this.
Yeah, if this is in your front row, choose level 3 and you are level 3 or higher, you may choose 1 Dwarf Shaman, Repeating Stone Bullets in your waiting room. Put it in any slot on the stage. So these kind of act as like your pseudo healers and your like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th shamans, right? Then yeah, for the most part. All right, yeah. This is what
it's in context of the L deck, it's okay.
Yeah, and then outside of that, it's probably bad, right?
Yeah, because you're not really going to be playing it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. If you're building like a yellow top end, it's probably okay because Goblin Slayer doesn't really have any other like really decent healers.
Yeah.
So if you're choosing Dwarf Shaman as your top end, you're probably playing this. So I'm willing to even just put it as okay, all around.
I don't know, because I feel like there's just enough yellow to splash that it doesn't matter. Maybe you play this as like a couple extra, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a free heal, and then you get to play the Shaman for free with the climax. So that's why I'm leaning towards okay here.
All right. Next card here is Lizard Priest Battle Ready. When your other order characters attack, this gains 1500 power for the turn, and it has Twin Drive.
In It's okay.
Yeah, it's like six. It's 6/5 when it's the last card attacking, and it has Twin Drive. Um, yeah,
The
it's just
problem with this specific card is the decks it goes into don't really benefit too much off of the
Twin
Twin
Drive.
Drive.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because you only have like 4 plussing triggers, 4 pseudo plussing triggers, right? So
And it pluses level 3s, so those are very specific pluses.
yeah, um, yeah, it's
This isn't
just
really like yellow isn't really splashable at one and the other a lot of other like builds, so that's why I'm just kind of putting it as okay. I mean, Twin Drive is never bad.
yeah, he's yeah. I think even in the yellow deck, this is probably played at a smaller number anyway, like 2 to
You
3 at
probably play it
most.
at 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is like okay. Next card, High Elf Archer about to explode. If there are no cards in your clock, this cannot attack. When this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in the waiting room. Gain X power. X is 1,000 times the number of order characters. Also on a 1055. This is like
This is
bad.
trash.
Yeah. Is it trash? I think it's like I think
So
it's bad. But like
I think so. The reason why I'm like leaning to think this is trash is because like sure you can play this, but like sometimes you're at 1-0, and if this is like one of your only attackers, you feel really really bad.
this is
The
true.
other big thing that I want to, I guess, like throw out there is like from my experience playing the deck, the yellow deck doesn't have too many problems in controlling its deck state. Just
Mhm.
because you have a mill 6 brainstorm, you have access to twin drives and all this other stuff, and your level 1 climax combo mills on reverse. That I don't think you need the extra mill. You
Yeah,
honestly
you're
probably
right
play
here.
twin drives
This
or
is
like even the power pump dwarf shaman in the slot.
Yeah, this is pretty trash actually. Now that it's
Yeah.
like in that context. Well, sorry,
And
Archer.
you're obviously never splashing this into any other deck, so
All right. Yep. Next, High Elf Archer rear support. It's a 1/1 backup. If all your characters are yellow characters, you can put the top card of your deck into your stock, and then it's a 2K backup. This is like bad. There's nothing to
I
say,
would
right?
almost say this is trash, mainly because like you already have a 1-0 2K counter in the set that's in
Oh
blue.
wait, and then yeah,
And
this
there's
is
not a-
all your characters are yellow. This is actually trash. You're right.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing at level 1 to save in the yellow deck at all. Because
Pretty
everything
much.
has like no power, and like yeah, and loses power on defense. Yeah, this is trash.
yeah.
Next card, Dwarf Shaman, Observant Eye of a War Veteran. Assist all your characters in front of this. Gain X power. X is 500 times the level. When this places a hand to stage, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put them on top of the library in the same order. When this is placed from hand to stage, look at 2 cards from the top of your library or opponent's library and put them back on top of your library in the same order. So this seems
I'm
like
leaning on bad for this, mainly because once again in the context of yellow, and just because you're probably not splashing yellow and running this in many of the other builds. The look at 2 is really cute and provides you some decent information, but at the same time, yellow doesn't really care about power. Like, if that makes sense.
Everything they have is uninteractive after level 1, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, the extra information is kind of cute, but yeah, this is
Like, this isn't trash tier because, I mean, it's still a level support. You can still run it with
it
the
has a
hero
shot
package.
trigger, or not?
Yeah.
Or just a trigger. So
Yeah, it's not trash tier, but it's bad.
yeah, all right, I agree. Next, we have High Elf Archer, Unsuppressible Interest. When this card attacks, chooses one of your opponent's front row characters, and that character gets -1K for the turn. When this becomes reversed in battle, you may choose a card in your opponent's clock and put it into the waiting room. If so, your opponent puts the top card of his or her library in clock.
This is cute tech if you're
Ooh.
playing against, like, Kimono Friends or something.
Yeah, but we're
If they
not
just
seeing
leave
that in
If
English.
they just leave a yellow Kaban, yeah. In English, in the context of English, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess this kills is, like, the bottom decker Sayo and Bang Dream is, like, the first thing that really comes to mind.
Yeah, 1K is like nothing dice that for the most part. So
Yeah, so I would say this is bad.
yeah, this is bad. Or is it bad? I almost feel like this is trash. I guess the
It
secondary
depends
effects-
on what other sets, and the secondary effect isn't like the worst.
Yeah, I mean, like 500
yeah.
power, you're not going to contest shit. So like,
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
I don't know. I lean more towards trash on this.
I guess I can, in the current meta and with the other sets they've released, like I can definitely give up trash.
All right. Next, we have Lizard Priest, Miracle Giving. All your other Dragon Tooth Warrior Soldier made from the Dragon Bones gain 2k power. Put the top card of your library in your clock. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may make cost. If so, choose a Dragon Bones in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it's clock bonds to...
So the clock bonds to the event that lets you summon the 2/1 vanilla that I talked about. That's 8/5.
Oh, okay. At what, at level 1 or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This
so at level 1 you can summon out an 8/5 level 1, and
what was it? 10/5 because of the support.
Yeah, if you leave this on the field, this becomes 10/5.
That's kind of memey, but probably.
It's
trash.
like it's memey. It's usually you're not going for it. I think it's okay in context of yellow. Like it's another build you can have if you don't want to like run like the power pump dwarf bro and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Only in the context of yellow.
Okay, yeah, I can see that for just yellow, but yeah. Next, Dwarf Shaman Spirit of Drinking Dreams. During your turn, all your other order characters gain 500 power. When this card is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library into your waiting room. If all those cards are order characters, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower back row characters. That character does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase.
This is cute, but it's trash.
But is it? Let's talk about this. First of all, it's a support. Global 500.
Only on your turn.
Yeah, but we don't give a shit because we're playing yellow. Next, people are going to play standby, and they're going to put their 2/2s in the back row.
Oh, okay.
This is like secret anti-standby tech, but in reality, this card's probably trash, right?
Yeah. You know what? If I was playing standby and somebody hit me with this, I wouldn't even be upset. I'd be a little upset, but at the same time, I'd just be like, this guy is running this card in this deck. You know what? More power to him.
You're right. Next, we have this level 0 elf, 2k power. Rest this. Choose one of your other order character, or choose one of your order characters, and that character gains 1500 power for the turn. You can even pick itself.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
This isn't trash, but it's like you can run this if you're worried about your elf. But if you're already playing yellow, I would almost say you're not super concerned about winning. You're just trying to high roll the shit out of your opponent anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And you have other power pumps like the 1/0 dwarf can give power on play, and also has a kind of like a high rolly effect. So you're probably just never playing this.
All right, we have this level 0 lizard priest. When this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in the waiting room. If there is at least 1 climax among them, this gains 2 soul for the turn. Ooh, damage. I like it. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a card in your hand and put it into your stock. Ooh, handouts or whatever. This card is kind of interesting. I mean, I feel like it's on the bad tier ranking, but...
It's bad. You can like run this card though. Once again, I feel like this is like a card you put into your deck to high roll. Just because you're like, oh, swing for 4, got you good, buddy.
Yeah.
And then if you feel like if you just have like that heart of the cards feeling that your elf is going to mill 3 triggers and you're going to get to salvage 3 times when you reverse something, you can be like, yeah, I don't mind negging myself for free stock. Yeah, it's no problem.
Yo, this lets you turn 1 brainstorm. That's broken.
That is pretty broken too.
Yeah, I think this is like on bad. Yeah, it's like if I see it in the deck, I don't think I'd be upset, but. Yeah, it's not anything special. Next, High Elf Archer Inner Vow. When this attacks, if you have 2 or more other order characters, this gains 2,000 power for the turn, and Hand Encore. Seems pretty whatever. Like
you were never running this.
Yeah, pretty trash. Next, we have Sage Last Battle Assist. All your characters from this
spicy package.
gains X power. X is 500 times level. And then all your other hero, Last Battle, and Swordmaster, Last Battle gain 500 power and Hand Encore. So,
if you're choosing to run that little Mimi package, it's bad. Otherwise, this is trash.
Like in context of the package that it's supposed to be played with, it's bad. But outside of that,
so the problem with the package, we can get down to it as we go along, but you'll see. Like level support's never like truly awful, but. If you want to be Mimi, like, this isn't that bad.
I already see. So we have the 2/1 Swordmaster Last Battle. During your turn, if you have another hero Last Battle, this gains 4,000 power. Only during your turn. When this card attacks, choose one of your other hero Last Battle, and that character gains 2,500 power. So level support is useless because the character has no defensive power now, because it just loses 4k for reasons.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of... this is cute, but... What do you think?
This is cute. So I think it's cute, but like I think if you want to do anything at level 2, like if you're trying to contest board or do anything at level 2, it's either between this package or the Lizard Priest event that gets out the 2/1. I think in almost all situations, you just usually want to have the 2/1 instead, because that gets up to a respectable number of 10-5 before climax. So yeah. But this is sometimes satisfying to play down against like standby and just be like, I'm swinging in for 14k, bro. What are you gonna do?
True.
The problem is it can just randomly lose on defense, which is pretty shitty.
Yeah, I mean, when you invest in something like this, it just feels really bad if you have no real hope of defending it, since it's only 7k. So what you said, bad or?
Yeah, I'm willing to put this whole package as bad.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement here. So here's the Dragon Tooth Warrior Soldier made from Dragon Bones.
It's 2185.
2185.
It has a soul trigger, which is pretty good too.
It does have a soul trigger. Playable plus.
Nah, it's bad. Once again.
Hero Last Battle. This is something you don't see that often. It's a 2/3. Discard an order character from your hand to the waiting room.
This is part of that package.
Yeah, when this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay cost. If so, choose a Sage Last Battle in your waiting room and put it in any slot on the stage. And then discard an order character from your hand to the waiting room. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay cost. If so, choose a Swordmaster Last Battle in your waiting room and put it in any slot on the stage. So this just like summons your whole board, right?
Yeah. It summons your board for 3 stock.
This is cute. Part of the package. It has 2 soul too, I guess. I hope it has 2 soul for 3 stock.
This is honestly like quickly changing my mind. The whole package is like bad to trash. I think if it was just pay 3 and maybe ditch 1 to summon 2 of them, I think it's probably a bit better. But the fact that you got to discard 2 on top of paying 3, that's just rough, man.
Yeah. I mean, doing it this way, it's sort of like you paid 1 for every character, and every character or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like trash to bad, like the whole package, but it's really cute. I like it just because it's pretty silly.
It's flavor. Yeah.
Next here, Dragon Bones. Oh, this is the event.
Yep.
Rest one of your standing characters with Lizard Priest in the name. If so, choose up to 1 Dragon Tooth Warrior soldier made from Dragon Bones in your hand and place it to any slot on the stage. Oh, this is 1/0? You get a summon for free?
So it clock bonds to a 1/0 event. I know the real cost is just standing something. Or not resting a standing character. Which is like, this isn't bad.
Yeah, it seems like...
In the context of yellow, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Like, I think this is probably the superior package to run it to.
Alright, here's the real reason you play yellow. Dice.
Hell yeah.
Send this card. It's a 1/1.
This is the good card.
Send this card to memory. Recollection. At the beginning of your main phase, if this is in your memory, all players reveal the top card of their library. If all cards revealed in this manner are level 0 or less characters, take the top card of your stock and place it into your waiting room. If all cards revealed in this manner are level 3 or greater characters, choose up to 4 cards in your waiting room and put them to stock in any order. So you just high roll all the time. You look at your opponent playing standby and go, how many level 3s are you running? 12? Well, I can't wait to hit on these 1/1 dice.
Fun fact, I was never able to hit on this event. But you want to know something? I'm talking about the level 3. You want to know something I'm really good at? I'll give you a hint. It's that other effect.
Hit level 0 very often.
Yeah, I honestly wish we had like a separate memed category for this list, because that's what this would be. If we're talking in context, it's bad if you're trying to high roll, and it's trash otherwise.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you're literally just paying 1 to send something to memory for the rest of the game. It can give you can get cute information from your opponent's top deck, but that's about it.
And then like every time
when you hit it, oh boy, do you feel good.
Well, like you said, you've never hit it, so
yeah. I'm assuming you feel good. Getting 4 free stock seems pretty solid.
Shot trigger, wind trigger, and then shot trigger. Next card is a... Oh wait. All right, we did it.
It should be just 2 shot triggers and a wind.
We made it to red. Go ahead.
All right, so here comes now we start getting to the real meat and potatoes of the set. The first card is Cowgirl, Childhood Friend in Good Health. It's level 0, 1, 5. Climax combos with a standby. You pay 1, returns to your hand. If the standby is placed, you can pay the cost. If so, choose one of your order characters and stand it. And then it's a self-tap salvage brainstorm. Good God. This card's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay to good. I feel like
I don't think this card like breaches into good for me, but it's okay.
I think
I'm
it's
probably
like,
gonna play this.
It's like a mix. It's like
Yeah.
one of two brainstorms you probably play.
Yep.
Yeah, the climax combo probably almost never comes up. It's standby by the way that it works with, right?
Yeah, a lot of the times, unless you're playing like certain weird matchups, you don't really care about standbying out the 2/2. A lot of times you're just going to be standbying out like the 2/1 support if you're playing standby, that is. Or level 2, you're going to be standbying out like the 3/2 witch back row.
Yeah.
All right, next card. The reason you play this set, Goblin Slayer Detailed Strategy. It's a 104k. It's actually a 106k because that text up top just says if you're playing the game, you get 2k power. Climax combos with a gate, so climax combos with a really good trigger. If you have another order character, if you're playing the game, you can perform one of the following actions. Choose one torch in your waiting room and return it to your hand, or search your deck for one torch, reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. This climax combo never whiffs.
Yeah.
I don't know why they printed this. This is like beyond good.
Unless you're brain dead, you always get a card. And
Yeah.
then this is like
The
imagine
only
if
time
Kasumi
this whiffs is if like your opponent sends all your torches into clock, and then at that point you're just kind of like, whatever, dude, you got me anyway.
like Kasumi, Christmas Kasumi was super good in Bang Dream. Now imagine if that combo never whiffed, and then just made it 6k base. You have this card.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously good.
Yeah, in context with like the rest of the deck, this is usually a 7k on defense on top of that, and then if you're playing standby, the torches become 2k counters on top of that. So it's like, this is a really good card, and this is probably the main reason you're playing the set, because the events it gets are also really, really solid. But we'll cover those later.
Yep.
Okay. Next, level 3. We have the level 3 Goblin Slayer Iron Shadow of Destruction. It's a 3/2. During your turn, it gets 2k power, so it's going to be 11k on your turn. It's a healer, and then if it kills something when the other gate climax is placed, you deal 1 damage to your opponent, and then top deck that character.
This is like okay.
This is okay. Yeah, it's okay. Even if you're playing like 8 gates, you're probably not playing 4 of this, just because there's other cards you could be running.
Yeah, it's like easy 2 to 3 and 8 gate, I think, right?
Yeah. But it's a healer, and
Yeah.
Goblin Slayer doesn't have access to a lot of like great healers, so yeah, this is okay. All right, next card. Goblin Slayer True Bond. That's a level 0 2k. It's an on-death Rize. The other effect is it has an alarm. If this is on the top of the clock at the start of your climax phase, look it up to 2 cards from the top of your library and put them on top of the library in the same order. This is pretty okay. If you're playing Priestess, you're probably playing 4 of this.
Yep, and then the secondary effect is like really good even if you're not playing Priestess. It's just like information.
Yeah, getting information like that is always really, really good.
Yeah, being able to like decide attack order is really strong.
It also sets up for your Priestess when you play it, so then you don't whiff.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I think we both agree that this is okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next card, Witch Bewitching Behavior. When this is placed from hand to the stage, put the top. It's a 1045. Put the top cards of your library in the waiting room. It gets X power for the turn. X is the number of order characters built, so you're typically going to be 5/5 or 6/5. Climax combos. I think this is the stock soul.
It's a stock soul, yeah.
Yeah. You choose one of your characters on this card, and for the turn, they get the following ability: on reverse, blind stock. This is bad.
This is bad, yeah. This is like some meme combo stuff, but.
So I'm almost wanting to put this into trash territory because Goblin Slayer doesn't have like super amazing payoffs for having all this stock. So I think it's actually bad to trash.
Yeah, does this set have anything?
Like even your events that you have, like a lot of the times, like you're gonna be having like a decent amount of stock for them, and it's not like you're ever gonna be playing multiple of those events in your turn. I'm talking about the big events, by the way.
Yeah, so. I think playing against Goblin Slayer 2, I've never seen anyone struggle with stock before, unless like they literally got hit from like 0-6 to like 2-5 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this seems pretty. Not even memey. Like, it seems pretty bad to trash.
Yeah.
All right, next.
All right, next, Witch Enchanting Beauty. It's a 3/2. Assist all your characters in front, get 2k power, and then it gets damage scry. This is okay. You're probably playing this in standby. Actually, you are playing this in standby.
Yeah, this is like I think the main draw to standby besides the 2/1 support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just good support. So what is this? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. If you're not, I guess we can, like, since I have more experience, we can just say this. But if you're playing this in like 8 gate or something, it's probably bad.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of this card in like 8 gate or any other builds.
All right. Next.
Next is Goblin Slayer Shouldering Karma. If you have 4 or more other, this is a 3/2, 9/5. If you have a full board or 4 characters prior to playing this, it gets -1 level. During your turn, it gets 500 powers for all your characters. And on play, you can ditch a card and search your library for any event and add it to your hand. It is okay.
Yeah, this is okay. Like, you can find torches, you can find like the hill event if you want to get that, or the 3/3 event.
Yep.
Pretty decent. I guess one thing to note, I guess we never ever, I don't think we've ever at least seen you do this since we don't play it that often, but if you're playing standby, you could have a full board, play this, and then climax combo with the brainstorm to bounce it back to hand, and then bring out another card, right? So, like, it doesn't feel that bad or whatever. It's like kind of like paying 1 to summon your support or something out at level 2, yeah. Right? But yeah, that's
wait, come again? You can't bounce this back.
No. You bounce the brainstorm back and then play the. You can play the witch behind.
Oh yeah.
That's like a play to consider if you're playing standby gate. So yeah.
And then it can just become 11/5 on defense. It's pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Next card is Cowgirl Bursting with Vitality. This is another early play. This has the 2 or fewer climaxes in your waiting room. It gets -1 level. Placed on hand to the stage, you look at X. X is the number of characters you currently have on stage, and then it's a Shimikai on attack. This is okay. You're probably playing 1 or 2 of this. Probably just 1 in like 8 gate or gate standby.
Yeah, it like helps you find a combo again if you want to the combos.
Helps you dig for events. Helps you dig for combos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid card.
Yeah, it's solid, and the condition is really easy to meet with how the deck plays out too. So.
Yep.
I give it okay, right?
Yeah, I gave it okay.
All right. Next.
Next is Cowgirl Unbreakable Will. It has an alarm if it's top of your clock. At the start of your climax phase, choose one of your characters, return it to your hand. And then if it's on the field, you can rest it, choose one of your order characters. It gets 1k power for the turn. This is a level 0, 500 power. This... I can't actually think of any cute combos you can do with this.
This like only combos with like standby.
This helps if you don't want to bounce your back row brainstorm. But even then, you have to bounce your back row brainstorm if you want to stand something. So yeah, I just don't think you're playing this. This is, I think, is trashed here. Unless somebody can tell me of like any cute plays that they can think of with this.
I mean, like all you could really do is like clock this and then standby out the things.
Yeah, I guess if you don't want to lose like your back row or something, if you're standbying out back row cards, this is okay.
No. This is how it's supposed to be done. All right. So
all right, hit me.
You play 4 characters, then you play your early play Goblin Slayer, right? And then you use this alarm effect to bounce the front row, and then you standby out a level 3, and then you pay 1 bounce your brainstorm to stand it. Easy.
But you don't have any good like level 3 targets. Look, a lot of your like level 3s only have good on play effects.
All right, look. I didn't say it was a good combo.
Okay, but getting off this, I think this is trash.
Yeah, this is trash. There's like nothing really spooky with it. Ooh, the next card's very good.
Okay. Cowgirl, Peaceful Moment. It's a 0, 1k. It has the following effects. On play, ditch a climax salvage. On play, ditch a torch salvage. I would actually think this card is good, but it's very situational. But like, if you get into those situations where you need to salvage something, good God, does this feel amazing to be able to ditch like kind of 2 potentially deadish cards in your hand to get what you need out of waiting room.
Yeah, I mean the thing about this card is that it's so powerful by itself
it's so
that
flexible,
you have to play 1 no matter what. Like minimum 1, right? In every Goblin Slayer deck that runs Torch.
I've seen lists that don't run this, and I think that's a mistake. But yeah, I would personally run this card in every single deck that runs Torch, at least one of.
Yeah, I think
I think one of is probably just fine at one of. You can occasionally run two of, but I think one of is fine.
Yeah.
I've had really good experiences with this card, so I'm actually going to put it at good, although I can definitely see why somebody would just rate it as okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna
I feel
say
like this is a staple.
Yeah, I think it's
of the
gonna. I
decks.
think it's good too as well. I don't play Goblin Slayer that often, but every time I play against it, this card and the PR card are ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Next is a Goblin Slayer Foregone Conclusion. This is a 0/0 1500 power. If you have 5 or more cards in hand, this gets a level, 1500 power, and the following ability. The character opposite of this cannot side attack. And then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, this is a chaser. I would also say this card is good.
This card is really good.
The number of like Q plays you can do at 0 with this card is ridiculous. This is almost, I would say, oppressive, and it just lets you control the pace of the game a lot of the time.
Yeah, one of the things that Goblin Slayer does very well is that like it forces your opponent to play the game slowly at level 0, because once you drop this card, like there's nothing they can do. Like they're gonna lose a character no matter what, unless like literally they're playing multiple 3/5s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, this card's really, really powerful. This was kind of like the standard in JP for a while, where like at bare minimum you have to be able to get to 3K power to at least match this. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time, because every time you get queued against Goblin Slayer, and it gets really, really annoying. You start losing at 0; it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. One of the cute plays you can do with this while we're on this card is you can play like on turn 1, like let's say you're going first, you can play a utility card like that Cowgirl promo we'll get to much later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then just play this in the back row, because then you'll still have 7 cards in, or you'll still have 5 cards in hand, so then you meet that condition, and then you can just kind of deny one of your opponent's lanes, and unless they choose to play something big in that lane.
Yeah, it gets really awkward for your opponent, because if they pay 2 characters, like you said, you can run this up and against them and be like, you lose a character now, or you don't attack, and you still lose a character.
Yep.
So it's a very like powerful card in itself. It's like probably one of the reasons you like. Well,
it's another one of the reasons. I don't say this is one of the reasons you play the set, but good God, I think this card is good. It's dropped off in power a little bit, but it's still a really good card.
Yeah.
In JP, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think in English this is going to be like a terror for a little while for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is good for sure. Next.
All right. Next card is Witch a Little Kindness. It's a 1025. It's a level 1 Suicider, and its other effect is on attack. You can look it up to the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one, put it on top, and discard the other. This is okay.
Yeah, this is okay. It's like an alternate.
Level 1 Suiciders are alright, yeah. Especially in the English meta, level 1 Suiciders are alright, because a lot of people are still playing like level 1 walls. And then it lets you choose your trigger, more or less. So, yeah. It's alright. You're probably including this in most like mono red builds, or almost mono red builds.
Yeah, this set has so many good uncommon cards.
Yeah.
Next.
All right, next is a Goblin Slayer Glittering Braid. It's a 2/1, 2/5 backup. It's also a Ditch 2 anti-change counter. It's okay. You're probably playing 1 or 2 of this, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how often does it actually get... You probably don't... Do you play it in the standby list? I forget.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because your field usually lives. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty solid card. And you
Goblin Slayer is pretty much a board-based deck, and if you can keep board, cards like this are really, really good.
Yeah. Do you think the Ditch 2 is hurtful at all?
It depends on the matchup, and it depends on how many other lanes of yours they're killing.
All right.
Because, like, even if, like, let's say you ditch 2 off of this, if you have a gate in hand on the next turn, like, let's say you're ditching 2 and you go down to a 4-card hand, you draw, and then you have a gate. If 2 of your cards lived, you automatically get 2 cards back. So, yeah. I don't think it's that bad. So I think it falls from that kind of like, sometimes these can be rated as bad or trash. This falls into okay.
Okay. Next
is a Cowgirl, Whereabouts of the 2. It's a 2/1, global 1K. Its other effect is once per turn, if you play an event, choose one of your characters. That character gets X power, X times 500 of your other order characters. This turns your, we'll talk about it later, but it's a 1/0 mill 4 event. It turns that into a 2K backup. And this set is very event focused, so in general, this card is pretty solid.
Yeah, you mostly see this in the standby though, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's really useful for playing in the other kind of like builds, because you have other kind of support options.
Yeah.
But it's still an okay card.
Yeah, if you play standby, hitting a standby off an attack and summoning this out feels so good. Yeah. All right, next.
Next is a Spearman, Big Game Hunter. It's a 2/1/7/5 on attack. If you're facing a level 3 or higher, it gets 6k power for the turn. This is bad. It's not trash tier, but it's bad. I think you're probably playing one of this or something. But I think it goes back to a lot of that argument of which do you prefer? Like, pick your poison.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you want to do this? Do you want to do the stock bomb, or do you want to do the bottom deck bomb?
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I think it's like bad to okay. But yeah. All right, next.
Next is Goblin Slayer, Immutable Stance. I think this. The reason why I'm saying this is bad and not trash is because it's a lot easier to run red than yellow in this set.
Oh, yeah.
Goblin Slayer, Immutable Stance. It's a 2/2, 6k. For each of your order characters, this gets 1k power, and then Hand Encore. This is your standby target if you're playing standby. It's okay if you're playing standby. It's trash if you're playing it in anything else.
Yep.
Even then, I would almost say it might go down to bad tier because a lot of the times you're really wanting to be, at least in my experience, you're wanting to be standbying out your supports over this first.
Yeah, this is more of like a happy accident type of card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's closer to bad, but it's like still played because you play standby.
Yeah.
Next.
Next is a Witch, Invitation to Lethargy. It's a level 0, 500 power. When this is placed on stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in waiting room. If there's at least one climax among them, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower back row characters, and that character does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So same profile, I think, as that dwarf we were talking about earlier. And then when damage dealt by the...
Because he has to mill a climax. Wasn't the dwarf just mill 2 characters?
Oh, yeah, you're right. But when damage dealt by this is canceled, you may put this in your stock. This is still trash, though.
Yeah, it's still trash.
You're never running this.
Yeah. Next.
All right. Witch Suspicious Request is next. It's level 0, 1500 power, global 500, and then you can put this card into your clock and choose one Scroll of Gate in your waiting room and return it to your hand. This is bad, but it's an almost teetering on okay. So you're taking 1 damage to be able to salvage the 3/3 bounce event. The reason why I would rate it more as bad is because a lot of the times you already have a lot of other cards that are fighting for your back row slots. So having just a global 5 doesn't feel that great there.
Yeah, I'm more of like this card's trash, but I mean, if someone plays it...
someone plays it, you're not upset.
Yeah. I still feel like this is like almost like at least
I think you have better ways to be able to grab the gate event, but this is okay too.
Yeah. Yo, this actually this gets you out of level lock easy.
I mean, the set has a Ricky though.
True.
Next is Goblin Slayer, Tied Up. I see. It's a level 0/25. Comes into play. Oh wait, no, never mind. This is at the beginning of your I've never read this card. At the beginning of the Encore set, if you have no other rested characters in your front row, you can take a damage. If so, rest this. This card is trash.
Yeah, this is pretty trash.
I'd rather just pay 1 stock. Holy shit. Next, Cowgirl Under the Stars, 1045. When this is placed from hand to the stage, if you have 2 or more other order characters, you may draw a card. If so, ditch. This is bad.
Yeah, this is like bad.
It's almost trash tier. I think I just put it at trash tier just because you have better options available to you.
Yeah, the PR card is just so much better.
Yeah. I guess if you want the same effect but you don't want to pay the money for the PR card, you can play this.
Yeah.
But it's still trash. Next is Goblin Slayer Burning Arrow. It's a 1/0/5k power. This ability activates up to once per turn. When you play an event, this gets the following ability. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, look at the top 2 cards from your library, choose 1 card, put it in your hand, put the rest in your waiting room, choose 1 card in your hand and put it into your waiting room.
This seems pretty trash.
It's trash. I don't think I've seen any list run this, and Goblin Slayer as a deck already competes for a lot of slots with the other like good cards we've mentioned, or that we will also mention, that you just don't have room for this.
Yeah.
And the fact that it doesn't even get power and it requires a reverse is kind of, just in general, it's trash. You're not playing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Next is a 1055 Goblin Slayer. Ability activates up to once per turn. When you play an event, it gets 2k power. When this becomes reversed, put this on the bottom of your library. That's trash. You're not playing it.
Yep. Next,
Cowgirl Excellent Health. It's a 1125 backup. I don't want to do math right now, and I didn't come prepared. If for whatever reason 500 power is better than the free 2k backup you get, this might be bad. But right now it's trash.
Yeah.
Because you have just better options in the set almost. Next, it's a 1/1 Spearman. If you have 2 other characters, it gets 1500 power and hand encore. It's a standby target.
Yeah, this is like bad.
It's okay in standby. Yeah, it's okay in standby. It's trash everywhere else.
Yeah.
All right, next we're starting to get to the events. It's a 3/3 Scroll of Gate. It's a 3/3 event. It's a counter. If you have 5 or more characters with order, choose one of your opponent characters in battle and return it to their hand. I will say in English, this is probably okay to bad, mainly because AOT is a deck, and Konosuba is a deck. The fact that you need to have a full field to bounce a character feels really, really bad.
Yeah, and every time there's a set that releases with like untargetable, like you said, AOT and stuff, this card becomes like less and less useful. But it's still like powerful enough you can run as a 1-up because you have multiple ways.
Oh no! Yeah. I think if you're running like mono red or I would say standby gate or gate, you're probably playing one of this.
Yeah.
That coupled with I think one of the reasons why they have this downside is because it's really, really easy to add to hand with all the tools you have available to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I would rate it... I guess it's okay.
I think it's okay as well.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one of the spicy torches. There's actually 2 in the set.
Do you want to talk about the other torch now, or do you want to save it for later?
We can jump to the other torch now if you want.
Okay, yeah. We'll just talk about the 2 torches now. So we'll start off with the booster pack one first. So if you have no characters with Goblin Slayer in the name, you can't play this from hand. It's a 1/0 event. Choose one of your opponent's characters and move it to an empty slot on the stage. So Goblin Slayer is a deck that fights for board. If you can win 1 lane on defense, you get to kill a back row for free, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Okay, so like this is the type of card that makes bad players lose more and good players struggle. So in some instances when you have to fight Goblin Slayer's level 1 game and you can't actually reverse every lane because they have a 2k counter or something, what happens is you're forced to side with a climax, which feels really, really, really bad. But like it's like the only out to this is because if you lose a lane and you have like important back row pieces, like for example in Konosuba, it might not affect Konosuba as bad because of the way Konosuba plays. But like if you're ever struggling to get 2 unions on the board and then they immediately move up one of your back row unions and kill it, you're either forced to like 3 costs encore it, or you have to like search for another one afterwards because it gets really tough. You're forced to hoard pieces of your deck you normally would never have to lose, like ever, unless like these weird scenarios. And Goblin Slayer is one of those sets that, because it has a searchable torch event like this, that you always have to be worried about it.
You have to be cognizant of this card when you're playing against the deck.
Yeah, you have to like look for it, and you need to see if which torch do these people salvage, because it changes how you play the game completely. This is like everything else. I'm gonna
do a hot take. Most people would probably put this card as okay. I'm putting this as good.
No, this card is for sure good. Like yeah, I think
back row killing is super solid.
Yeah, and the thing is it's not even restrictive. As long as you can target the character, you can move it up. So like, if they lose board later in the game and they like standby out a target back there that you can reverse, or like a 2/1 support or something, you just like move that shit up here, dude. It's gone now. And your opponent can't play around on reverse climax combos, because if they crash their board, you just move up their back row. So they're forced to remove their entire board if they're actually trying to get away from maybe your on reverse climax combos or anything like that. The only 2 things usually, which don't sound super scary, but it's really powerful. One is the level 3 TD. It's burn 2 on reverse, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you have that, and as well as we talked about earlier, the level 3 Goblin Slayer itself with the gate combo. So it makes it really hard playing around like those like reverse combos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
So to put a rating on this card, this is good.
Yeah, it's for sure good.
I don't want to say this is one of the main reasons you play the deck, but it's...
I don't know.
It almost makes it up there, because I have seen lists that just run 4 of the next torch we'll talk about.
Yeah, I have the next torch up here if you want to start talking about it now.
Okay, so the next torch is just a 1/0 event. I'm going off a card pulled up, but it's a 1/0 mill 4 counter event. So you can play it on your opponent's turn. It's also able to be gotten off the 1/0 combo. This card is really, really good. You can control how your deck during your opponent's turn, which is going to be the first time you can. I think you can do that in English, right?
Pretty much, yeah, I think so.
Because yeah, English doesn't have like Milky and stuff, and I can't think of any other decks off the top of my head that have that interaction on your opponent's turn. So you can have like say like a 4-card deck with no climaxes, and then your opponent front attacks you, and you're like, cool. Now I get to dodge this damage, add a card to hand, and the event also stays out. So it's like a bunch of cards like that you're just dodging damage and aren't going back into your refresh.
Yeah,
and in general, it helps dig for what you need.
Yeah, and the crazy part too is main phases manipulates your deck as well. So if you draw into like another gate, you're just like, I'm gonna mill a bunch of my deck this turn, find good pieces, and then immediately salvage all the pieces back again because hey, why not? You're playing Goblin Slayer, like yeah. And then this is another thing. I guess we didn't really touch up on it about the last torch is that hand size with the deck usually is not anything you're struggling with, right?
If you have the gate in hand, you're not going to be struggling with hand size.
Yeah, so you like negging yourself one to kill back row and stuff like doesn't even hurt. Like
because you're probably like even when you're killing the back row, you're probably just slamming the gate and getting all your torches back to your hand again.
Yeah, it's really powerful. Like honestly, in my opinion, the reason you play Goblin Slayer is for the torch events. Both of them are just so powerful. So if it isn't obvious, this is good for sure.
Yeah. The fact that it also combos with like the back row support, like if you're playing the standby, or just the cowgirl ditch out, the fact that you can like ditch too, like if this is a dead card and you don't need it, like it's good.
Yep. Oops.
All right. I think we spent too long on those. All right. Next card, it's a canary. If there are two, it's a 1/0 red event. If there are 2 or 4 cards in your memory, you can send this to memory on play. And at the start of your main phase, if this card is in your memory, you can look at 2 cards from the top of your library, put them back in the same order, and then do the same with your opponent. This card is bad, but you can see it played.
Yeah, I think it's bad to okay. Yeah, because like we said, there's a lot of searching for events and stuff, and this can set up your priestesses if need be. So like, it's not a horrible card, but it's closer. It's closer to the bad in my opinion, but yeah. I wouldn't
just because there's other good cards you can run in this deck, and even when you're playing the priestess, a lot of the times you're going to have the alarm in your clock anyway, so you're going to be getting the information. Yep. So yeah, I think it's bad, but it's not terrible.
Yep.
Next card is Haversack. It's a 2/0 event. If you have no characters with Goblin Slayer in the name, you cannot play this from hand. And then on play, it's a salvage a torch or salvage the 3/3 bounce event.
Yeah,
this is bad to okay again.
Yeah, bad to okay. It depends on what you're trying to do. This can act as like a second gate or a 5th torch, right? Which is like okay-ish. Yeah, at least luckily it costs no stock, so it's like
Yeah. So like if for whatever reason like you're out all your gates, or you have not gates, you're out all your torches, or you have the 3/3 event in your waiting room. But you have this in your deck. One of the cute plays you can do is play the 3/2 early play Goblin Slayer, grab this, and then grab the scroll of gate or torch or whatever after that. So yeah, like the card's bad, but it's not. You're not offended when somebody plays this.
Yep. And then I'm just going through the climaxes now, and then we are on blue.
Okay. Do you want to handle this, or do you?
Yeah, I'll start a little bit, and then you'll take over.
Okay.
So this is Guild Girl, Showgirl of the Guild. Assist all your characters in front of this game 500 power. You can rest this card, choose one of your order characters, and choose one of the following abilities, and that character gains the chosen ability until end of your turn. During this card battle, when your opponent refreshes the library, you may put the top card of your library to stock. And then the second effect is during this card's battle, when the battle opponent levels up, you may put the top card of your library to your stock.
This is trash. For double rare, I think this is trash.
Yeah. Okay,
the effect is so specific and situational and has to be on one specific attack. Like, maybe if it gave it to your, like, up to once per turn on your board or something. But the fact that this is to one specific character, I think, is what obviously just makes this bad.
Yeah, I think what could push this over the edge and being like, hey, this might actually be a really good card is if it wasn't a blind stock. If it was like grabbing stock from your waiting room, I think that'd be pretty interesting. But you kind of already know when your opponent's going to level up or when your opponent's going to refresh for the most part. So the effect isn't as like, oh no, I don't know when this is gonna happen, but it's kind of unfortunate if they do cancel or something weird like that.
Yeah. And honestly, just like there's better cards you can run.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this is like trash the bad. What did you say?
I would actually just say trash.
I think it's trash too bad. I think it's cute enough that maybe you can get away with running it in some decks, but yeah, I don't blame people for saying it's trash. Next, Priestess Gentle Cleric. If your trigger check is an event, choose one of your characters, and that character gains 2,000 power for the turn. And then this is a pay 1 tap self brainstorm. For every climax you hit, search your library for order character and add it to your hand. So right out of the gate, this card's good. We have a lot of really strong events in the deck. So every time
you're
trigger
going to be running probably like
6
to 7 events. Yeah, 6 to
2K
7
power
events in a deck.
randomly. Awesome. Second thing about this, which I think is really strong, is that it searches your deck, which is kind of weird. Like normally salvage is, I think, a little bit more stronger. But search is really powerful in this case too, because you can check your deck multiple times to make sure you have what you have left in your deck. Do you have a torch to search? Because sometimes it's more beneficial for you to search for a torch instead of salvaging a torch, depending on attack order and stuff like that. So I think that's a little bit of the cute part about having a search brainstorm, at least with this deck. But the 2K power on event check is like super good.
Yep. It can make your a lot of the times your Goblin Slayer is going to be like 8K on attack.
Yeah.
And it could just randomly make it 10K, which is pretty damn good.
Yep. Next,
so yeah, I'd agree. It's good.
Yeah. Next, we have Sword Maiden, Beloved Archbishop. When this card attacks, choose one of your order characters, and that character gains 15 power for the turn. And then it has, at the start of your Encore step, if there are no other rested characters in the front row, you may pay costs. If so, rest this. So it's a pay 1, save it.
All right, so this is still the worst character in all of Goblin Slayer. But I think this is a card that I kind of came around on a little bit. I would initially classify this as bad to trash when I first was reading the set, but I can move it up to okay. You're probably playing 2 or 3 of this. The power pump is nice and variable. If, like, worst case scenario, your entire board gets wiped, you can pay 1 and save this, and it still gets value because it's a non-attack effect. So it's flexible at all points of the game.
Yeah, to me, this is more of like an okay card.
I'm not saying it's good. This is okay.
Yeah. But I'm kind of feel the same way. At the same time, when this card was first revealed, I thought this card was okay, but I was leaning more towards bad. But then when you actually look at the set as a whole, you have plays like this, like we said, your level 0 play is 3K power, and generally that's how big it's going to be forever. So if your opponent starts playing like 4Ks and stuff, you need a way to remove it. This is a really good option. Yes, it stops them from being able to, or like let them dodge your run effect to chase them with the other level 0. But worst case scenario is if they don't kill the other one, or if they kill both things, then you can pay 1 plus, save this, and then like power pump a level 1 or something if need be. Or worst case scenario is like this itself is also 3K power, so it can attack more utility cards because it can power pump itself, right? So
yeah. Fun fact: this card is really, really good in the mirror match.
I bet it is. All right, next.
Oh God, this card. Okay.
All right. Sword Maiden, Passionate Love. All your other order characters gain 1500 power, and when this is placed on stage from hand, oh great, the train just came by. You may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room, and then the last effect is a startup. Rest this. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put them on top of your library in any order.
In the booster, this is the only blue healer. The only other blue healer comes in
the TD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This card is bad for me, man.
Yeah.
Like, its effects are okay. Global 15's okay.
Yeah.
You don't really need power for anything, though. The look at 2's okay.
This mostly combos with the Priestess build, right?
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of the times, if I want cards like this out, I want them out at level 2. I don't want to wait till level 3.
Yeah, I think what's nice about this card, even though like you're forced to wait till level 3 or whatever to play this, is that since it has a heal, which is something you want to heal down at level 3 with the Priestess deck, at level 3 it's more crucial for you to pass your checks on Priestess.
Yeah.
So at least this kind of sets those up a lot better. But this is like the reason we were talking about earlier, like the 1-0 Canary event was played a lot too in the beginning because people wanted to pass Priestess as often as possible, and this card wasn't cutting enough because you had to wait till level 3.
Yeah, like you can classify this as okay. Personally, for me, I think this is bad.
I think it's okay, but yeah. You have
Healer,
way more
like
experience with the deck. So
I think it's more like I just kind of hate the card overall. I don't like the character. This is your only healer, and yeah, yeah.
all right. Next here, this is the reason to be playing blue, is Priestess Pure Protector. If a Goblin Slayer True Bond is in your clock, this gets -1 level while in your hand. So that's the Rize we saw earlier. And when this card is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 2 cards and discard a card from your hand in waiting room. Climax combo with the Pants trigger, the blue gate. When this card attacks, if you have that climax, reveal the top card of your library. If that card is an order character or an event, until the end of your opponent's turn, this card gains 1500 power and the following ability at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase. All your opponent's characters get -1 soul for the turn. So this is the reason you play blue if you decide to play blue. And then I would rate this as good. It's probably the best neg soul in like level 2 in the game, right?
Yeah, because on top of like its other profile, unlike cards like Arisa or Amelia, this doesn't target. So this is just global neg soul to your opponent. And while sometimes modular neg soul is better, getting out 2 or 3 of these and just negging your opponent for neg 2 is ridiculously strong. On top of that, it's on a really good trigger, because I think like Amelia is on a Pants.
Yeah.
And then the Arsa can sometimes just be a little difficult to early play depending on like game state and stuff. So yeah, this is just really good.
Yeah, and this lets you dig too, because draw 2, ditch 1 on play, which is super powerful. So it lets you refresh with 8 more often than not and still get into the climax. This card's just good, right?
Yeah, this is really good.
Let's see. Next card here. Priestess, my special reward. This is placed from hand to stage. Put the top 2 cards of your library into the waiting room. If there is at least one level 0 or lower character among them, this makes that attack without any penalty. When this card is put into the waiting room from stage, put the top 2 cards of your library into the waiting room. If there's at least one level 2 or higher card among them, you may put this card into your stock.
This card is bad to okay.
Yeah.
I'm personally throwing it into bad just because for me, how I play the deck, Goblin Slayer is a board-based deck. Giving up a lane for free feels bad. Yeah. And your deck already has so many other like mill options, and it doesn't, like, in my experience, it just doesn't really struggle for stock. And even if you think it does, I would say it has even better options for that.
Yeah, I agree. This card's like bad to trash almost.
Yeah. I wouldn't say trash. I think this specific profile is still okay.
Yeah, I think the profile's okay, but I feel like it just has no place at all, unless it's some other spicy deck we don't know about.
Yeah.
So next is Guild Girl Daily Thrill. When this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library into the waiting room. If there's at least one climax card among them, choose one of your characters, and that character gains 1500 power for the turn. When this card damage is canceled, you may draw a card. If so, choose one card in your hand and put it into the waiting room.
This card's trash.
This is pretty trash. Like, the secondary effect is really, really good. That's like the reason you'd play it at all, even.
So I think if the profile changed, and if you if you mill a climax, you get like +2 soul on this card, I would probably rate it as okay to good. Probably just okay. That's not a super great profile. But the fact that it doesn't contribute to its own effect very well is why I would say this is bad to trash.
Yeah, and the power pump is generally not very often needed, so.
And you already have pretty good, like, decent deck control in the deck, so the mill is kind of whatever.
Yep. All right. Next, we have Priestess Innocent Smile. When this attacks, choose one of your other characters, and that character gets X power for the turn, where X is 500 times the number of order characters.
Yeah, so it's a Shimakai. I think this is trash.
This is trash. There's so much other like power pumps in the set that's just better.
Like like in comparison to this or the Sword Maiden, I would just pick the Sword Maiden every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because this gets to 2k with a full field, while Sword Maiden always gets 1500 power. Like, yeah.
Next, we have the 1/0 2k counter. This card's good, or like
this card's
good to okay, I guess, depending on what you're doing.
I think you're playing this in almost every single build, so I think this is good.
Next, we have Sword Maiden Clear Skin. When this is placed from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an order character, this gains 2k power for the turn. When this becomes reversed, if the cost of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you may put that character in the bottom of your opponent's library.
I think if the profile was similar to the Kasumi and Bang Dream, that you can give 2k power to everywhere else, I would mark this as okay. As it is right now, I think this card is bad.
Yeah, I think
maybe
this is
it's also
bad.
meta dependent, but like
this is bad to okay depending on the meta.
Yeah. Like with a climax, this is like 5/5. So sometimes you can be cute and like kill something and then force them to crash something into this, but
Yeah.
nah. Currently, I think in the context of the meta, this is bad.
Yeah, I agree. Next, we have Priestess, Virtuous Maiden. All your other order characters gain 1,000 power during your opponent's turn, and then when a climax is placed in your climax zone, choose two of your characters, and those characters gain 1k power for the turn. So this
Why
card
do they
is
so many good cards,
I
man?
don't know.
And this art is really good.
Yeah, so this is good, easy, right?
It's good to okay, just because you have like other options. Like if you're playing like Gate Standby, you're probably not playing this, but I think this finds its way into every single other build.
Yeah, it's really hard not to play this card because
It makes your Goblin Slayer 7k on defense, which is really, really
yeah. It makes two of your Goblin Slayers 8k on attack. So in the mirror, if they have a 2k counter, they only trade with you. So it feels really bad for them. On top of what's it called? If you trigger an event in your other lanes before you get to that lane where you have to worry about the counter, you just like, I'm way over you now, so good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would mark this as good. This card is really, really good.
Next is Priestess, Inevitable, Happy End. If you have two or more other order characters, this gains 2k power, and it has Hand Encore.
I can't believe I'm calling like a 6k Hand Encore for free bad, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
you're almost never playing this.
There's just so many other good cards, like
like why would you ever have this over the one Goblin Slayer on board?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're like, I guess like Priestess waifu, but that'd be it.
Yeah.
Right? Next, we have Sword Maiden, Silent in Appearance, 1/0. If you have two or more other order characters, this gains 1k power for the turn. Climax combo, this card's battle opponent gets reversed. If Portrait of the Wavering Maiden is in your climax zone, put up to 2 cards from the top of your library to your stock.
This card is trash.
This is trash. Like we said earlier, the set has nothing to do with all the stock, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And what is a combo on? Book?
I think this is a book.
Yeah. All right. Next,
and you have to kill something too, which is in general this card's garbage.
Good. Yeah. Next is this 2/1 level support, and then climax combo. If for adventure for you is placed in your climax zone, choose up to 2 other order characters and /or characters with Goblin Slayer in the name, and during the turn they gain the following ability. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your library, choose up to 1 order character and reveal it, put it into your hand, and discard the rest.
Fun fact, you can target the level 0 Goblin Slayer promo with this card, because that one does not have order trait. Other than this, I think this combo is on a stock. It's cute, but you're never playing it. So I think this falls into trash, actually.
Yeah, this seems pretty trash. I mean, like
it's a +2 a lot of the time, but it like.
You know what else also gets you +2? 2/1/0 Goblin Slayers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's pretty trash. I mean, like, unless there's some way to cheat it out very early. Climax
you'd have to be running a very weird
any level besides 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Next, we have Sword Maiden, Hidden True Heart. During your turn, for each other order character you have, this gains 500 power. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, if Signpost of Salvation is in your climax zone, choose up to 1 order character in your waiting room and put it into stock. Search your library for up to 1 order character, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shelf your library. This is like really cute, but
this card sucks.
Yeah,
it's bad. I wouldn't call this trash, but it's pretty bad.
It's bad. It's a cute combo. Like
I would call this trash because I just read it. It's only during your turn.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's only during your turn and it almost dies on defense, this card's trash.
Yeah, like if this combo was on anything else that had like any survivability, it'd be pretty good. It's because if you're investing 1 stock on something, you want it to live at least 1 turn. Next, Guild Girl super Rare Shot. Discard a card from your hand and waiting room. This is placed from hand to stage. You may pay cost. If so, reveal the top card of your library. Choose 1 character of level X or lower in your waiting room and return it to hand, where X is the revealed card.
This card's okay.
Yeah, this is like a pretty decent ditch out.
It's a decent ditch out. The set outside of the Cowgirl that we mentioned earlier, that ditches Torch and ditches Climax. Mm-hmm. This is really like your only other real salvage option. Like hoping to hit a Brainstorm or a Gate.
Yeah. So what is this, like okay to bad or?
No, I think this is just
It's
okay.
okay?
I don't think this is. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad card at all. I think this is okay.
All right, yeah. Next, Sword Maiden, welcome to Watertown. This is the Ricky, so pay 1, clock yourself on play. Search your deck for a character with Goblin Slayer in the name, and then add it to your hand. All right.
All right, I'll go ahead and placate them, I guess. This card's okay. I don't like it in a couple of the builds. Actually, I don't think I run it in any of my builds, but it's a Ricky.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad to run. The fact that it can also get you your level 3s is also pretty good. But yeah.
So it's so weird because you would think the selectivity wouldn't be an issue, but depending on what build you're playing, the selectivity is an issue. Like you can't get counters, you can't get 1/0 counters, you can't get like any really powerful level zeros. Really, it's mostly like if you're playing this, you're all inning.
You're paying 1 to add your climax combo to hand.
Yeah.
So I guess the main case against this and why I almost want to put it into bad territory, even though it's not that bad. It's like I said, it's still a Ricky. To me, I'm almost personally just never playing this card past like turn 2 of the game, ever.
Yeah.
And I'm only playing this in like the bad games where I don't already have combo in hand.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many other ways to draw. There's so many other ways to like go through your deck and stuff to get the combo that I personally don't like to run this card.
Yeah, I feel like this eats up slots that you'd rather dedicate to other more useful tech that's useful throughout the entire game instead of just this one niche scenario. Like I was saying, if your main game plan is like I want to triple Goblin Slayer level 1 every time I hit level 1, you probably play this card as like a 3 of.
3 or 4 of,
3 or 4, yeah. Otherwise, if that's not your main game plan and you want to just like focus on having a consistent game going throughout the entire game, then you probably don't even play this card at all. Or if you do, you probably play it at some small number as like a 2 to 1 of, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't even think...
Honestly, I think one of the other main problems with this card, and I guess it's part of the thing that lets it just grab anything with Goblin Slayer in the name, it's 1/5 power, which also doesn't really contest too much.
Yeah.
It doesn't even trade with anything, so this card just kind of dies.
You get baited into playing this too. If you go turn 1, then your second turn you will play this. You lose out on being able to play a really slow game at level 0 because now you give your opponent something to attack.
Yep.
And they get to have a character live, which kind of sucks. Whereas like in actuality, you just want to have that one chaser a lot at 0 and chase them around and force them to play like 1 to 2 cards per turn and like slow them down at 0 so you can just have time to build up to what you want. I feel like there's no like your level 1 combo also doesn't have any doesn't need any reverses or anything like that, so I feel like there's no rush to get to level 1, right?
Yeah
That's what I thought. I think this card's bad, honestly. Like I think the selectivity isn't good enough. If it was like salvage at level 1 or lower, I might push this up to okay. But I think the name selectivity is the biggest issue I have with this card.
I can agree with that, but I think okay is fine. It's okay to bad.
Yeah,
like, and I don't even run the card, but like, you're never mad when you understand why people would run this card. But yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people, I feel like, are also kind of baited into playing this card because everybody says like, oh, it's a Ricky profile, it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Because like the pay 1, clock yourself +1 is always like really strong effect, but I think it just takes up slots in the deck you'd rather dedicate to other stuff, which is like really tough. So yeah, I think this is more like
you have other better utility cards that search and do what the deck wants to do better than this card.
Yeah. All right, next. Guild Girl for the Future. When your other adventure characters or a character with Goblin Slayer in the name is placed on stage from hand during the turn, that character gains 1k power and quest. Then it has pay to rest, draw a card.
Dank meme at a 10.
In
all actuality, this card's trash.
Yeah, this is trash to like maybe okay, but or not okay. I mean bad. Trash to bad at most.
Yeah, I actually don't even think it can reach bad. It's just trash. It's not a support or anything. It just gets the 1k power on play. So
if you play yellow blue, it makes your characters really big. Wait, did those characters have order?
No, it's adventurer, so it's
adventure?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, next is Priestess motive for knowledge. When your other order character attacks, this gains 1k power for the turn. When this is sent from to the waiting room from the stage, you may pay cost. If you do choose one of your level 0 or lower characters in your waiting room, put it in any slot on the stage. Let's discard 1. This is weird. I've never seen anyone play
This
this
is a very strange profile, and I think if the card read level 1 or lower character, this would be good. But the fact that it reads level 0 makes this card for me bad to trash.
I don't even know what you're like looking to pull out with this.
Well, no, because when this card is sent to waiting room, so when it dies, like you can attack. The effect would be like you would attack with this last. This would be like a 7-8K on attack or something, right? And then when they kill it on defense, you would just bring out like a Goblin Slayer or something in its place if it grabbed level 1 or higher. But that's a what if scenario. In its current scenario,
but I don't know what this is like. Even trying to find at level 0 to pull out, like maybe you. Would...
It's a level 1. You can't find a level 0. Or you would never play this at level 0. Yeah, you would get like a brainstorm or something, but you should be able to. You should already have your board set up at that point, and you have other ways to get. Like I said, we already have other ways to dig through our deck and stuff. So this card is in its current profile, this is bad to trash.
Yeah, this is definitely bad to trash. I still can't imagine what level 0 do I want to pull out from my waiting room like ever.
I think it's honestly just brainstorm.
That's it, right? Yeah, like this is your like 4, 5, and 6 brainstorm.
Yeah.
So next, Sword Maiden Eager Request. When this card is placed from hand to stage, gains X power for the turn, where X is the number of ordered characters. So it's like a Slayer. Fulfill. This is a 1/0 2/7/5. This
Worst
is like
girl shit profile because we care about keeping our board, so I think this is trash.
I don't know if it's trash, but it's probably.
I don't
bad.
like Sword Maiden, so for me, it's trash.
This effect here is probably bad. It probably has a special deck for itself, but in the main Goblin Slayer deck, this does nothing. Next, Priestess Glaring. If the level of this is 1/0. If the level of the character opposite, this is higher than the level of this this card can't front attack. Oh, it's a 1/0 6/5.
This card is trash.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess
actually
in English, I actually think it's just. I don't even think it's trash to bad. It's just kind of like bad. Just because English like plays a lot less standby. So this will be like 7/5 on defense, which is like respectable.
Yeah.
You can probably play this as like a 1 or 2 of, and it's like it's playable.
Yeah, I agree. So we have next
board encounter.
Guild Girl Official Smile. It's a board encounter. So it's when you use this as a backup, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an order character, add it to hand and discard 1. So
I think this is bad.
Yeah, this is a 2/1 anti-damage counter. This guy thinks the 2/1 anti-damage counter is bad. Interesting.
No, so here's my take on. I think it's not the greatest. You're running a lot of events in your deck. You're typically going to be running minimum of, and you're usually going to be running like average of 6 to 7. So that is 7 extra misses for this card.
All right.
To me, which is why I would say mark this card into bad.
In my defense, I think this card is good, or not good. This card is okay, is because 4 of those events are going to be in your fucking hand. Because you're going to climax combo the turn and have 3 to 4 torches in your hand.
I guess.
I don't know. I think this card is okay. I think,
like it. You're not mad when somebody.
Yeah.
But I would personally just think like you already have like other options. You have like you're going to be playing the 2K backup. And then I don't think you can play like this and the 2/1 Ditch 2 anti-change one.
Yeah, you probably play one or the other. So like I think this takes up the same slot in the deck. You more likely than not you probably play the anti higher level card, but you could also play this there too if you'd like. I think. Yeah.
Or you can just be a high roll god and just only run like one of the level 1 counter.
You're right.
So.
I think this is okay, but.
I think it's bad, but like I said, we can.
Nico doesn't like to cancel. You hear that? All right. Next card.
I like to mill 4 clean and then cancel on precise damage after the fact. Sorry.
Next card, Priestess Together Forever. It's a assist to level 3 and higher in front of this card. It gives 2k power, and then it bonds to their name is Goblin Slayer. The card it bonds to is actually the level 3 from the TD. So this card to me is okay to good.
I actually think just this card is good, but it's good in the context of I would say the red, just like the red blue deck. I think if you're playing this in 8 gate, it's not as good. But if you're playing this in Gate Priestess or whatever, I think this card is just on good tier. It's a ditch out, which after you draw a bunch of stuff, you might want to ditch something with your priestesses. It gives 2k to your priestesses, which if they success... So, yeah, like, to me, this card is good.
Yeah, you're probably more right along the good line. It's just like we said earlier, one of the ways the closing power the set has is the TD Goblin Slayer is one of the cards. So playing this that also bonds to it is like really powerful. And in the context of like the Priestess deck, this just like benefits you all around because you're only going to play like 2 TD cards, maybe, right?
Probably 2. You're probably just playing 2.
And you at most,
and the fact that you don't have any other really like solid ditch outs outside of like the Cowgirl one, this just, like I said, to me, this is just a good card all around.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next. Want to handle this one?
Sure, I can take over for the rest of them, I guess. Priestess, what's a consultation? It's a 2/1 bottom decker bomb. This kind of goes back to the conversation we had. This is okay to bad. A lot of the time, so in this set personally, I guess for me, I think the Spearman is probably the best profile out of all of these because a lot of the times you just want to be keeping your board. And just because you have so much kind of like good defensive power.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Unless like the meta calls for unless the meta calls for you removing cards, like bottom decking cards for some reason, or places where they can't be hand on court or 3 costed, then you probably play this. But yeah, I think you're right on that. And then what'd you rate this?
I rate this as bad.
Bad? Yeah.
It's bad. Like, honestly, like, for all of these, we can go over. This is bad to okay. It's your preference for what you want. For me, I would probably say, like, if you're playing this, you're probably playing the Spearman for me. Just because at that point, a lot of times you get to keep a character on board, which enables you to torch and all that. So. Yep.
All right, next.
Next is Priestess Arbitrary Sense. Front assist 500. When you play an event, you may put this card to your stock. This card's okay. Yeah. I wouldn't rate this as good, but this card is okay. It lets you do cute plays.
Yeah, there's a lot of cute, cheeky plays and like free stock occasionally. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and 500 is sometimes relevant.
Yep, especially at level 0 with your 3/5 or 3K chaser. 2 of the lanes become 3/5. So.
Yep. Okay, next is a level 0 Priestess, 1500 power. All your other rookie... This is a different Priestess. All your other rookie warrior new experience get 500 power and the following ability. You can send the Priestess to waiting room. When your other order character is front attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your characters in battle. It gets 1500 power. And then it's a ditch bond to that rookie warrior new experience. I want to say that rookie warrior is just a vanilla 1055.
It probably is.
Yeah. I think... The fact that the rookie warrior gets the effect and not this is what kind of makes this like this is a flavor card from the show. Honestly, I don't know why we're talking about this. You're never running this. This is trash.
Trash.
Next. Yeah. Sword Maiden Invaluable Miracle. It's a level 0 1500 power. Global 500, and then you can send this card to clock. You can choose one of the 3/4 event we'll talk about later from your waiting room and add it to your hand. This card is okay to bad. I would honestly just run the 2/0 Haversack event over this, but this is at the very least like more easily like gettable.
Yeah.
And if you do play the event, it's a Sword Maiden name for the event, so yeah, it's okay to bad.
Yeah, I guess I agree. Next.
All right, Priestess Slight Concern. Pay 1. Put the top card of your library in your clock. When you place this from stage to the waiting room. You can do that effect. Look it up to 3 cards afterwards. Add a character. Put the rest in waiting room. And then it has an alarm. If this is on the top card of the clock and you have an order character on the field, you can give one of your characters 1k power. This card is pretty trash. I don't really like this profile at all. And then if you're using this effect anyway, why wouldn't you just Ricky? Or why wouldn't you just play Ricky?
Yeah, because you can only get a character too, right? So...
Yeah, it's like, sure, this lets you get a counter, but at the very least, like, if you mill or if you reveal a counter, but at the very least, the other one more or less guarantees you what what you're playing it for.
Yep. Next.
All right, Priestess Sweet Encounter. I like this card art a lot. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your characters. It gets 1k power. When this attacks, if Ice Cream Shock is in the climax zone, and you have 5 or fewer cards in hand, you can look at 3, choose an order character, and put the rest in waiting room. this card's bad to trash.
It's bad to trash for sure. What is this on? Tell me it's a 2-soul.
It's not a 2-soul.
Aw.
I think this is a book, which makes it even worse. You don't even have a trigger for this.
Upsetting.
Yeah, it's not even like a stock soul or anything.
Next.
Yeah, next is the Chisato profile and the Futaba profile. Level 0, 2k power. If there's a marker, it gets 1 level, 1500 power. On play top check, if it's an order character, put it face down as a marker.
You may. Yeah.
I think this is actually just kind of bad, kind of from what we mentioned earlier. Like, sure, it gives you extra information for your top checks, but you're running a lot of events in this deck.
Yeah.
And at level 0, if you whiff this card, it feels really bad.
Yeah, you're just better off.
And at that point, all of your events are in your deck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Maybe in a event deck, which some weird event list.
This isn't too terrible at level 0. If you're playing like the mono yellow, you can kind of splash this to be a bit oppressive at 0.
Yeah.
But even then, a lot of times, I just feel like the chaser is a better option.
For sure. Next,
Sword Maiden, Warning of Rebirth, level 025 power. 2 or fewer cards in your stock gets 1500 power, so it's a 4k beater. It depends on what your meta runs and kind of like what you like to play. If you like playing 4k beaters, go for it. For me, this card's bad.
Yeah, this card's like bad. I agree.
Yeah.
Next,
Inspector Eye of Truth, level 025 power. When this is placed from hand to the stage, look at the top card of your opponent's library, and then look at the bottom card. It's cute.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
So you look at the top and bottom card of your opponent's library. So it's a cute, flavorful card, but it's trash.
All right. That's the weirdest effect I've seen as of yet. Yeah. I agree. Trash. Next.
Next is a 1/0 Guild Girl 4k power. When this is placed on fam to the stage, choose an order character. It gets 1500 power. Then you can rest 2 of your standing characters. On play, you can do that. If you do, one of your characters gets on reverse blind stock.
Seems pretty.
It's bad.
It's bad to trash.
It's bad to trash. Yeah.
Next. Oh, vanilla.
Rookie Warrior. This is the card we were talking about. This trash. Next card is the Obsidian class certificate. It's a 1/0 event. On play, you send this to memory, and its memory effect is when you level up. If this card is in your memory, you can send this card to waiting room. If you do, search your library for 1 order character, add it to your hand. This card is bad to trash. You're not playing this, but this card isn't. It's not awful.
It's almost serviceable. That's like the thing. So like, yeah.
This is you can probably play this in like some budgety version of the deck.
Yeah,
if you
or if you want to like
money.
guarantee your Priestess to hand before level 2, just slap that in here, and then you can find them pretty easily. Yeah. So yeah, it's It's bad to trash.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. Next, Miracle of the Shared Bed Virgin Resurrection. It's a 3/4 event. You may choose one of your characters with Sword Maiden in the name and one of your characters with Priestess in the name and put them both in your waiting room. If so, choose up to 5 cards in your clock and put them in your waiting room. Send this card to memory.
Oh, wait, this is Hill 5. I always forget this is Hill 5. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like we were talking about earlier, this is the Heal 5 event, which is pretty solid. Sometimes you're running like Sword Maiden cards and Priestess cards for this event in like red and like the mono red decks. Yeah. Almost mono red anyway. Just because Heal 5 is really strong.
Yeah, it plays into the game plan. Like, so if you guys haven't noticed so far, there's actually not a lot of cards that push for ending the game really fast in this set.
I think from this we've only talked about Dwarf, level 3 goblins, both of the level 3 Goblin Slayers, and Musashi.
Yeah. So there's no cards that like really push your opponent very hard. So I think this is one of the cards you can choose to play in almost any of the decks as long as you play cards to ditch for this, and like play that like prolonged game state type of game, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you rate this?
I rate this as okay.
Yeah, same. I don't expect it to see it in every deck, but I expected to see it in like a couple occasionally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would almost rate it as good, but the problem is like the 2/0 event doesn't grab this.
Yeah.
So you have to.
Yeah, like you have the Goblin Slayer that searches for events and stuff like that. So like it's pretty serviceable to find. So it's never really too tough. But yeah, I agree. Okay.
All right. Next we have the climaxes. It's your climaxes.
Yep. All right. Then we'll move on to PRs here. Let's
All
see.
right, I can do these real quick also.
Alright.
First one is High Elf Archer. When it's a 2/1/6/5, when your other characters attack, it get 2k power. This is trash. And it also has hand encore, I guess. It's still trash.
This is pretty trash.
Cowgirl. Oh
boy.
god, okay.
Wait.
Power. Go ahead.
So this effect was on a double R before they printed this effect on a PR card, just so you guys know.
Yeah. What was this? This was like a $50 promo or something when this
it was like $30 to $50 depending on the time frame you bought it. This card is just super powerful. Just go ahead.
Yeah. So the first effect is when this is placed from hand to the stage, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an order character, put it in your hand and ditch a card. The second effect is ditch an order character to draw a card. This is pretty good. What was this? I think this was only printed like once, and that was in Cinderella Girls,
it was in
right?
Cinderella Girls, yeah. The second set Cinderella Girls, which we never got it in English. It's on a double R too, and the card is super good, and it was expensive at the time of release. So this like hand fixes this hand fixes the ditch out as well as digs for your climax/event. Like,
yeah, if you haven't been able to draw it, it helps dig for it.
Yeah.
The fact that it digs 2 also is like really disgusting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, I only played Goblin Slayer a couple times.
Whenever I let you borrow it, pretty much, yeah.
And this card has let me like triple Priestess multiple times.
Triple Goblin Slayer, yeah.
Like multiple turns in a row because I'm like, dang, I ran out of climaxes. Well, time to gamble. Play this. Reveal top card. Oh, it's a climax. Ditch a character, add it to hand, slam the climax. Yeah. Like, okay. It's just really powerful. Like, I played this over the Ricky any day of the week in this set. Yeah. That's how good it is, I think it is. Right?
I agree.
Yeah, so this card's good for sure, right?
Yeah, this is absolutely good.
Next
is Goblin Slayer. It's an anti-runner, and when this is placed on hand from the stage, it gets 1500 power. So you would think this is a good profile. The really weird part about this is the only card in the entire set that's off trait. This does not have order trait to it. And a lot of the cards in the deck interact with order trait. So this actually just becomes almost unplayable because of this.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I wonder what happened there. Like, I feel like
it almost feels like this is the first card they designed, and then they
forgot to switch the event or
they forgot to add the order trait to it.
Yeah, this card's like bad to trash, right, for the set.
I just think it's trash. I've seen people play it, but like it's just, yeah, I don't like it. It's almost unplayable.
All right, next.
Next is a level 0 1k power. It's a bottom decker bomb. It's bad, but you can play it, I guess.
Yeah, no other effects or anything, and the list is already so tight. It's like, yeah, I don't know how you end up playing it.
And then finally, you have the Gill Girl promo. It's a 1/0/4k. If you're playing the game, it gets 2k power, so it's a 1/0/6k, and then you can pay 1, it gives it 2 more k. It's trash. But it can be bad, too. Just
trash to bad, depending what you're doing.
You can do some nice memes, pay 3 in it. You can kill like a standby character or something, but yeah.
All right. I guess we'll talk about now the last
few TD cards. Yeah, I think we only have like 2 cards to discuss. Did we talk about the 3/2 Goblin Slayer already?
A little bit, but we'll just touch up on it and go through it really quick. So we'll do this first one is Priestess Kind Heart. This is the 3/2 healer from the trial deck. Like we said earlier, there's not that many healers you can choose from. This is one that's often used in standby builds. In other builds, you probably won't see it as often, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a solid healer because you don't have that many options. This is like an okay card, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, nothing really to talk about. Next is their name is Goblin Slayer. This is the level 3 we're talking about. So this one is during battle and following this, your opponent cannot play backups from their hand. So now you know that they can't cheese you out with like a 3k counter. And then when the battle opponent gets reversed during your turn, you can pay 3. If you do, deal 2 damage to them. So
this is okay, but in the context of the English meta, I would almost rate this as okay to bad, but it's also like one of your only real finishers. The reason why I would do this in the context of English meta is it does not shut off foreclosure, and it does not shut off maneuver gear. And there's nothing in the set that can shut those off for you, like there is in Bang Dream. So if you're playing against those sets, you just you're probably not going to be able to kill them through this card. In every other matchup, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. This is like one of the few cards you're allowed to actually like push for damage in this
Yep.
game. And I said this like since the beginning. I thought this card was like the best like finisher card in the set. And it's come around where a lot of people are now playing this as like a 2 of in their list, which is
It's usually like a 2 of.
Yeah, like
The fact that you have a Bonder for it also is
really powerful. The last card I have here is actually a PR card that we're getting for what is it?
Oh,
The shop
there's
challenges.
2 more actually.
Oh, was it? 2
Oh no,
more?
there's actually 3 more. There's 3
Oh,
more.
I forgot to open those. There's what is it? What's it called?
The shop challenge promo is a priestess.
Yeah,
It's
so the shop challenge promo priestess.
0 1k
white
power.
goods.
Top
Yeah.
check. If it's an order character, you can give itself 2k power, so it becomes a 3k. And then on play, you can pay to refresh. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's just an okay card. It's like usually as a 1-of slot if you have room for it.
Yep.
And then what else are we missing here? I'm sorry. What was the card?
Well, we
name?
can do 2 more actually, just because we can cover like all the other kind of like playable-ish cards. You have a 2/1 elf counter, which I think is going to be like the next month promo or something. It's just a 3k memory counter. It's okay.
Yeah.
To bad.
Yeah, it's okay to bad.
If
It's
you're
like
playing
okay
against
during the
Gurren,
meta.
You can
Yeah.
really meme on Gurren.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final card is the Drop Searcher Priestess.
What's it called?
It has... I forget the exact name, but it's a level 0 2k power.
Oh, it comes SP, right? Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on play, you can pay 1, ditch 1 to search your deck for an order character. And then its second effect is on play, look at the top card so you don't have to show it to your opponent. Leave it there, put it at the bottom of your deck, to where I would say that card is good. It's almost included in every single build.
Yeah, I mean, it pay 1 search for your level 1 combo and also like has utility throughout the entire game. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. It helps you pass the priestess top checks. That's all that really matters.
Yep.
All right, and that should be it, right?
Yep.
All right, we did it.
I don't think we passed the speed run.
This is a really bad speed run. This is an hour 35 minutes. Dean not here to yell at us and no what's it called, lightning rounds screwed us up.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, set overview overall, we say this is a good set.
This is a good set.
Yeah, this is definitely
gonna be
gonna
a really good set. I think this is gonna be pretty meta impacting also.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to cause a little problem again where for a little while, maybe not as bad because I think the metas in English is like a lot better now, but this is like on the levels of like AOT type of deck where a lot of like really good players will probably be on Goblin Slayer depending on what else releases around the time, but you can definitely expect this set to be highly representative during team events for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really popular set or series in English as well, right? In the West?
Yeah, I think the West really liked Goblin Slayer also.
Yep. So yeah, I recommend buying it if you guys are
Just
thinking about
as a
it.
pro tip for you guys, do not side the level 3 Next Soul Priestess.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, that's actually really beneficial for that for them.
The
Yeah.
pro tip when playing against the deck.
Yep. All right. Well, besides that, guys, I guess we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yep.
Yep. Later. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content, as it does help us grow, and check out some of these social media links below.